For more than 1 million years, across Africa, Europe, and Asia, a palm-sized sharpened stone served as the most successful survival gadget our ancestors invented. It functioned as a prehistoric Swiss army knife, used daily to butcher animals, scrape hides, dig holes, and crack bones for marrow. But archaeologists in England unearthed an enormous anomaly, a chunk of flint nearly a foot long and weighing 1.5 kilograms. Achieving its perfect symmetry required planning dozens of strikes, reaching a level of precision that challenges modern sculptors. This comparison shows the massive Kent find alongside standard hand axes from the era. Out of thousands of British artifacts surveyed, only about 1% fall into this giant category. Creating an object this large and precise contradicts the basic logic of prehistoric survival, where wasting calories and weeks of labor on a useless rock could lead to starvation. To find a practical use for these giants, researchers handed replicas to 20 volunteers and asked them to simulate standard Stone Age chores. Every volunteer found the tool physically unusable. It is the size of a baguette, making it far too heavy and clumsy to hold while trying to slice meat or scrape a hide. While it can dig a deep hole if held with 2 hands, prehistoric humans did not spend weeks polishing and perfecting the symmetry of a tool destined to be jammed into the dirt. Since the giant axe is a failure as a physical tool, it must have been engineered for a different purpose entirely. In 1999, researchers offered a cheeky answer to this mystery called the sexy Handaxe Theory. They suggested that these oversized, useless objects functioned as prehistoric dating profiles. This strategy relies on a biological concept known as costly signaling. It suggests that a signal, like a trait or an object, is only a trustworthy indicator of quality if it is incredibly expensive or difficult to fake. Nature uses this trick constantly. The peacock's heavy, elaborate tail slows him down and attracts predators, but surviving with that burden proves to a mate that he possesses superior strength and health. Similarly, the bowerbird spends weeks decorating a non-functional hut with colored berries and bottle caps. He doesn't live in the hut. He builds it as a high-effort audition to prove his fitness to a female. The giant hand axe is a peacock tail made of flint, a physical announcement of genetic and social superiority. Crafting one required an impressive prehistoric resume, starting with the patience to wander the landscape and find a flawless, crack-free flint nodule. Shaping that stone took sharp eyes and the cognitive ability to plan hundreds of precise strikes well in advance. One wrong tap could shatter weeks of work. Finishing the project successfully proved to a potential mate that the creator was intelligent, highly skilled, and well-fed enough to spend 2 weeks on a hobby. This timeline shows a sudden cluster of giant axes around 300,000 years ago. Once one caveman successfully used a giant rock to impress the camp, it likely sparked a social arms race where everyone began competing for the largest flex. These axes were designed for the social landscape, built specifically to dominate the local dating pool. The psychological instinct to create difficult, non-functional objects for status remains a part of the human species. We simply changed the materials. Modern costly signaling appears in the mechanical watch that performs the same job as a free phone clock, or the luxury sports car that is polished more often than it is driven. A global study of 37 cultures confirms this instinct is universal. Across every region, humans rank creative and artistic ability as a top-tier trait for attraction. We construct these objects to broadcast our patience and skill because we often lack the words to express our worth directly. The giant prehistoric hand axe was the first recorded love letter, proving that our urge to impress is running on 300,000-year-old biological software.